Hey there guys, it's Rick Utzer here again with AirgunWeb and AirgunWeb TV, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. And today, we've got the new SIG Vertus. This thing is pretty darn awesome. Okay, so before we get started, I definitely want to say thank you to Pyramid Air for sponsoring AirgunWeb in these videos. They sent me this rifle, and boy, am I glad they did. I have had a ton of fun with this. The one thing you're gonna learn right up front with anything like this is you're gonna go through a lot of pellets, and we have burned through, I don't know, maybe 1,000 rounds just in the few days we've been working with it so far. It is just so much fun to shoot. So let's get into it. What is the SIG Vertus? Well, this is something that's been promised to us by SIG for quite a while now. So, you know, they've had the CO2, and there's been some people that have sort of variated that, made up that word, I guess, variated that rifle to run on high pressure, but this is a 22 caliber from SIG that runs on high pressure air. It uses a, you know, like your paintball or your, you know, your paintball type bottle here, but it's got a regulator. So this is 3,000. I'm not quite sure what the output pressure is, but it's your standard sort of paintball connector. And so you fill this to 3,000, and how many shots do you get? Well, you get about 2 full mags and maybe a little bit. So that's 60 plus shots. That's actually really good in a 22 caliber. Now, power output. Well, we've done some testing, and I've got 2 different pellets here. I thought, you know, I'm going to be doing just a lot of just plinking. So H&N actually has a pellet called the Excite plinking pellet, and that's what I've been running. And it's not only inexpensive, it's actually pretty accurate in this gun. We're going to get to that and how it compares to, say, like a more more expensive pellet like the Field Target Trophies, for example. But with all that said, let's talk about how it does performance-wise. Well, you're shooting at about 630 feet per second. With the regulator, which is really cool, you gotta let it recover between shots though. So, you know, you shoot it, wait a minute, shoot it, well, not a minute, but you shoot it, wait a few seconds, shoot it, wait a few seconds, gives a chance for the regulator to fully recover, and then your velocity stays relatively even. We're like at 630-ish, I think we're average 629 feet per second. Let's see if they've got something here which tells me what that energy is. It's probably 11.5 foot-pounds, give or take. 11.33 foot-pounds is what you're getting out of this with the plinking pellets. Now, you go to a heavier pellet, like the H&N Field Target Trophies, they are 14.66. By the way, the plinking pellets are 12.9 something. So, see if I can just get that right. The plinking pellets are 12.9, okay, 12.9, 12.93 in that range. But let's go back over to the Field Target Trophies now. They are 14.6 grain, and they're shooting anywhere between 595 up to a little over 600 feet per second. Now these actually will tickle that 12 foot-pound mark, which is what this gun promises, but you're really running 11.5 to right under 12 foot-pounds with this gun. So you're right around 600 feet per second, just give or take a few feet per second. And again, very, very consistent. When we look at the numbers, unless I get like aggressive and try and shoot too quickly or something and the reg doesn't recover, you're really within a few feet per second between shots. So all that in, they've done a really good job at delivering high shot count and consistent power output. Now, how does that translate into accuracy? Well, there's a few things that are working for this gun in that way, and there's a few things that work against it. So let's talk about, first of all, the things that work against it, and that is the trigger pull. So here's your magazine. This is awesome the way they've done this. It's got a belt in here. This is where your pellets go. So you're gonna load these up. You always load from the plastic side. If you see metal, you're loading this way, you're gonna load them in backwards, so don't do that. So you load on the plastic side here, and then, let's see, it just slides up in this little channel, and that's great. So you got 30 rounds, that's awesome. But here's what happens. When you pull the trigger, you're actually rotating this magazine. So all of that weight of the pellets in here is mechanically rotated when you pull the trigger. And the trigger pull is very heavy. Now, with that said, I don't care. Because you get to shoot 30 rounds as fast as you can pull the trigger, and we've done that, man. We could just carve out a circle, which is so much fun. We just put it on the target and just drill it, and you just watch that just disappear. And that is what makes this gun very fun. Now, if you want to try to work on accuracy, let's talk about the things that are working for it. First of all, the way they've got the stock laid out is really nice. They gave you a decent butt pad for the back of the bottle, so I really like that. Now, It comes with M-LOK channels, and this is my rail. I just had one, I installed it, and I have my bipod that I put on here, so you could accessorize the bajoogers out of this gun if you want. Lights, lasers, bipods, whatever. It's really set up for you to do that, just like you would a normal AR. Just M-LOK channel, put whatever you want on it, go have fun. Now, I've mounted a Hawke compact scope. It does come with these really nice flip-up sights, so if you're, if you want to do some tactical training, running and gunning, and you're just using open sight, it comes with them. I prefer a scope just because of my eyesight. So I threw this Hawke Airmax Compact 30 on here, and what I didn't realize is how well it works on an AR platform. So if you've got an AR and you're looking for a really nice scope, this guy is great. It's lightweight, it's small, it fits with the overall look and feel of the gun, and it just is really a pleasure to use. So when I was shooting for accuracy, because I could really lock down into the hold of the gun, pull it tight into the shoulder, really grip it well. I had the bipod to give you some, stability, and I had the scope, and I'm just running 4 power. I'm not even trying to go beyond that. I was actually able to get some really decent groups at, say, 20 yards. Now, you can shoot further, but we are dealing with a 12 foot-pound gun, and it's really not a match precision gun. If you go into it thinking you're going to take this to a bench rest competition and win, probably not. But if you want to just have a lot of fun pulling the trigger as fast as you can and shooting things as fast as you can pull the trigger, that's where this gun does really well. Now, I wanted to say that in all of the testing, it's really held up pretty well. There's been a couple times where the trigger pull, it's like the mechanics didn't quite get this sort of pulling right, but it did straighten out. Take a break, maybe flip the safety back on and off again, give it another hard pull, and it seems to catch up with itself. So a couple times it did that, but it really comes down to the fact that it's trying to move a lot of weight all through the mechanics of when you pull that trigger. So that's something you sort of kind of go into it knowing, but again, I don't care. It's so much fun to shoot. I've got some steel targets out there, and all the way out to 40 yards, and you just can't miss unless you try. You just put the crosshairs on it and pull the trigger, and you can watch the pellet make the impact. You hear the pleasant sound of steel getting hit by lead, and really, I love to go out on my range and do that, and this lets me do it 30 rounds as fast as I can pull the trigger, and now it's HPA, not CO2, so I can fill this up with my tank, no problem. And I don't have the issue with like CO2, where the faster you shoot, the velocity goes down because it's freezing. All of that stuff is gone. Now you've got a 22 caliber, semi-automatic AR platform. It's great for plinking. It's great to shoot. You got squirrels in the backyard, 12 foot-pounds is enough to do it. Make sure you're gonna hit them, don't shoot too far out. But plinking, practice, light, small game, pest control, all of that stuff, this thing really does a great job. Guys, that's it for now. My name is Rick Usler here with AirgunWeb. We tell you the facts, not fluff. Thanks for watching.